Well, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or a bad idea, but today I'll be trying to make my way up to Chilkoot Lake. And seeing that I have to gain a significant amount of elevation, most likely be hiking in snow today. But it should make for a pretty beautiful trip. All right, as you can tell, it's not super deep right here, but I'm only at 6,600 feet elevation. I've got a few miles to hike on the road here. I just ran into a guy who said that there's a marathon here tomorrow. It starts right below where I parked my truck. I might have to take my time getting out of here tomorrow. I really needed to get out this weekend. This is a test run, trial run, and a little bit of training for my trip next weekend. I have a 28-mile hike next weekend up above Hetch Hetchy. So getting a little bit of high elevation training here is going to really help me with that one. Also really testing my pack and my packing ability, which has gotten a lot better just in the last few months alone. This pack is 30 pounds, including food and water and everything. So I was really happy about that. Looks like I'll be trudging through some snow here for a little bit. Nice little meadow through there, partly covered with snow. And I'll be honest, I did not expect this much snow, but I do think I am prepared for it, so still gonna have some fun. Another long stretch of snow here. Slows me down quite a bit. Well, I made the right call with not trying to drive up here. This would have been unpassable even in my truck. Yeah, I would have gotten stuck for sure. Well, I'm getting the workout that I wanted. Walking through this snow takes a lot of effort, and that's what I've been walking through for the last 15 minutes. So just a little bit more to go around the bend up there, and we'll see if it clears up at all. Just more snow around the bend. Well, I'm really close right here to Cold Spring Summit, and my turn to the lake is coming up here too. The temperature change up here is pretty drastic. It's got to be in the upper 40s now, maybe low 50s, and I'm over 7,000 feet elevation where I'm at. That was a massive tree that fell down. That thing looks like it exploded. It's got bits of bark all over the place. That was pretty recent too, because it's laying on top of all the snow. I was worried about mosquitoes coming up here. That was pretty dang silly, because it's too cold for mosquitoes. Okay, this snow's pretty high at this point, but my turn should be right up here. It's tough to read that sign, but this is Cold Spring Summit. This is the highest point that I'll hit along this road. And I get to work my way down into Chilkoot. Alright, there's a couple facilities up here. A kiosk and a bathroom, looks like. Well, if I get rained out down at the lake, I'm not above coming up here and camping in the restrooms. It's a little shelter, I'll take it. It should be easier to make my way back tomorrow, retracing my steps, because I'm sinking down almost every step. At this point, I really hope the lake's not frozen over. I gotta be careful with spots like this on the trail. With that water running underneath the snow, leaves a gap between the water and the snow, and that could be a foot, foot and a half. And if I punch through and get my knee stuck or something like that and twist it, that would be a pretty miserable crawl out of here, because I am very alone back here, so I need to be very careful. Yep, just like that. Gotta be careful. I'd like that sun to stay out. Feels great. Well, this is a sight to see. Wow. I'm just kind of taking it all in right now. Well, quite a bit of effort to get here, but holy cow, is this worth it. This is frozen over Chilkoot Lake, right below some beautiful snow mountains. Other than a few planes every now and then, it is very quiet up here. I have no doubt I'll be the only one here tonight, so I'm gonna enjoy this all to myself. Okay, I'm gonna try to find a nice flat spot, hopefully with no nasty trees above me. And we're gonna set up camp quick and start a fire and get my feet a little bit warmer. I'm still looking for campsites, but boy did I misjudge this trip. I thought there was gonna be bugs. I thought it was gonna be hot. I thought it was gonna be hot enough to jump in the water. That's kind of hilarious looking at this. Crystal clear water, but I am not getting in there, no chance. And I like jumping into cold water, but this is a whole nother level. Borderline dangerous. If I clear this spot out a little bit, might be my best choice. It's up from the water and these trees look pretty sturdy. Okay, I've got this trip's broomstick here. My last trip's broomstick was way better. I missed that one. From where I had to park and the hike in here took all of 3 hours to get here. So I think I've earned my snacks for today. I'm gonna find a nice place to sit and enjoy these. That's about as good as any seat I've ever seen. You can't get over how awesome this looks. I think I'll get a fire going here. It's nice and warm when the sun's out, but when that sun gets covered by a cloud, it gets a little chilly. Some pretty wet stuff in there. That was tough to get going. I'm gonna have to baby this thing. Well, hopefully my socks don't catch on fire. Gotta dry them out a little bit. I got a pretty good blister coming on though, so I'm gonna get that fixed up. Rarely have to use it, but it's good to have it when you need it. This is Chilkoot tape. It does wonders for blisters. It'll stay on until I get home tomorrow. And I really let that blister get too far. As soon as I felt it, I should have stopped and put some of this tape over it. So now it won't feel great tomorrow on the way back, but just something you gotta deal with sometimes. We got a pretty dark cloud coming over. That was one of the coolest natural sounds I've ever heard. That was awesome. Really regret not having my chair right now. But I was pretty proud of myself with this pack. 30 pounds on the dot. So I think I'm prepared for some of my longer trips this summer. Well, it's getting close to 7 o'clock, so that's when I'm going to start making some dinner. Gotta get some nice fresh water to boil. Alright, I'm going to let that peak meal sit for about 10 minutes. Beef pasta marinara. I'm not sure I've had that one before. I'm just sitting here thinking about the hike in when I said that I hope the lake wasn't frozen over. I'm actually pretty glad that it's frozen over. I've never camped next to a frozen lake before. This is pretty sweet. Well, my peak meal should be done here pretty soon. But on my next overnight trip, I'm taking my cook kit and I'm bringing a big steak. That sounds really good right now. But I really needed to test some of these meals. You can actually hear some snowmobiles. They don't sound super far off. Well, they sounded like they were getting pretty dang close, but I think they turned around and went back towards the road. It's like 7 p.m. right now, so it's very interesting to hear snowmobiles when we have like 45 minutes to an hour left of daylight. Might have added too much water, but let's see what we got. It's gonna be a little soupy. I do build up quite an appetite on these types of adventures. Getting here was not easy today. Most of that was hiking through snow, so I think I've earned my calories today. 1,040 calories. Doesn't look the most appetizing, but that really doesn't matter out here. Okay, it's probably user error, but the meatballs in this are a little crunchy still. I'll have no problem eating this whole bag, but not one of my favorite peak meals, I suppose. If you have any recommendations on dehydrated meals, let me know in the comments, please. Successful dinner, though, and a successful day. The sun will be going down here very shortly, though. And when it does, and when this fire dies down a little bit, I'll probably get in the tent. So I'll check back a little later. Well, walking through all that snow really tired me out. I'm in bed already. It's only about 9 o'clock or so. But it's supposed to get down to 36 degrees tonight. But I should be able to stay plenty warm, so I'm not too worried about it. Well, if nothing exciting happens tonight, I'll see you in the morning. All right, good morning. It got pretty chilly last night, but I stayed plenty warm. This is a great sleeping bag. The hood is really important too. If I didn't have insulation on my head, I'd lose a lot of heat throughout the night. But the sun is just peeking over the hills, so I'll be getting some direct sunlight here pretty shortly. I guess it did get pretty cold last night. The lake refroze along the edges. You got the fire going again. It's a beautiful morning here. I'm gonna make myself some hot water. Well, I'm gonna break down camp and start thinking about getting out of here. Still have a 2-hour trek through the snow to get back to the truck. And tomorrow's Mother's Day, so I need to make sure that everything's in order for her to have a great day tomorrow. All right, camp is squared away, all packed up. Got the fire out. I think it's time to take off. I'm gonna miss this campsite though. This place was awesome. It's the middle of May and I still got to snow camp this year. That's pretty sweet. I try to leave no trace, or at least leave it better than you found it. It can be kind of irritating showing up to a lake or campsites and there's a bunch of trash everywhere. Okay, say goodbye to beautiful Chilkoot Lake. Frozen over Chilkoot Lake. I decided to hike back in my tennis shoes instead of my boots to prevent my blister from getting any worse. So I'm gonna have some wet, cold feet by the time I get to the truck. I'm already able to walk in my footsteps from yesterday though, which is helping quite a bit. I'm curious if I'll see those snowmobile tracks. Hopefully I'm not following the footprints of another guy who wears size 15 shoe. I should be going back in the right direction. Already made it back to the bathrooms that I saw yesterday. This is the summit, Cold Springs Summit. I still don't see any snowmobile tracks, fresh ones at least. Yeah, that says Cold Springs Summit. It's all downhill from here. And now I get to walk in snowmobile tracks. So this will be even faster. The snow's already compressed down. I'm making good time now. This is so casual, I'm gonna have some snacks on the trail. This is nice. Well, my snack break ended quicker than I wanted it to. Looking down the road here, and I just see a bunch of cans, beer cans. So I think those snowmobilers had a case of beer spill out the back. So there's beer cans all over the road down there. I think I'm gonna do my due diligence and pick them up. And there's no way I missed this on the way in yesterday. Most of these look like they're full. I probably would have snagged a couple. They must have lost a whole dang 30 pack. I'll tell you what though, that's some of the coldest beer I've ever seen. My wife's gonna think I had a good time though, coming back with a 30 pack that's half empty. It's crazy to think that in a month or two all this snow will be gone. Starting to get patches of road again. It means I'm getting somewhat close. I'm at least out of these long stretches of snow. This bag of beer is getting heavy. Ooh, pavement feels awesome. My feet barely even got wet. And I think I'm still gonna have to deal with that marathon that's going on. It didn't take me nearly the time it did on the way back as it did there. So who knows, maybe we still have some more excitement to go. A couple Coors Light cans this time. These snowmobilers are sure beer drinkers. It's got to be one of the last stretches of snow that I have to go over. And another beer can. My bag's getting full. No more snow. Well, I just saw a car drive by me, so I'm assuming the marathon's over. I should be able to drive through there if they could. Whew. Oh, dang it. Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, I have an overnight outdoor playlist with a small collection of videos just like this one. So make sure to check those out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. One more beer can. I guess there was a marathon after all. Well, they're all done by now. I didn't see anybody. That solves that question.